Hey, what's going on, sports fans? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones, and I am here live at the 2024 Celebration Bowl here in Atlanta, man. I'm excited about being here, man. A big time matchup on Saturday for the HBCU National Championship. We have the JSU Tigers, man, taking on the South Carolina State Bulldogs. I'm here at Radio Row right now. Spoke to a few of the Jackson State University players and coaches, about the game. Later on, they will have the South Carolina State staff coming through, coaching staff, players, to talk a little bit about the game. It's amazing, man, to be here. Extremely humbling. Got opportunity to go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium this morning and check out some of the walkthrough practices for Jackson State. I mean, it was 15 minutes that was open to the media. And, of course, came right back over here to the Omni Hotel here in Atlanta where we're having Radio Row and got opportunity to speak to some of the players, man. And I'll have that content up for you all just a little bit later. But I talked to several Jackson State players, and man, they are really, really excited about this opportunity. They're really excited about having opportunity to play for a national championship. Back in 2021, we know that Jackson State was here, but didn't get the result that they wanted. And it seems to me like all the players that I've talked to so far have the type of energy where if they were at that game or part of that game, they want to finish what they start. And the ones that never have been in this moment, they want to make sure that they take advantage of it. So it's going to be an extremely exciting game. For those that follow HBCU sports, and shouts out to everybody across other platforms that's checking this out. We're talking about the Celebration Bowl, but we know that Jackson State University. They won 11 games this season, man, including the SWAC championship last week versus Southern University. And, one of the questions that I asked, and I asked Coach O, one of the coaches on the team, he spoke a little bit about that. And I asked him about, the fact that they played last week versus Southern University versus South Carolina State, them playing, not playing 3 weeks. I mean, they haven't played a game in 3 weeks. So that is kind of like an advantage. Or I guess you can look at it two ways, right? If you've been, sitting at home for 3 weeks, then you're rusty, right? If you are out there and, you're playing, you don't have to worry about rust, but you do have to worry about attrition. And we know that, Jacobian Morgan as well as Zai McDonald, both quarterbacks for Jackson State, ended up getting nicked up, in the game. So, I don't know exactly what their status is, as far as the game is concerned, but both guys bring something to the table. Both guys have to make sure that, they're prepared. But, credit to Jackson State University, when Morgan went out, in comes Zai McDonald, and it seemed like the offense started to pick up. So it seems like they have a different type of energy for any type of energy the defense wants to bring to them. They got a quarterback for it. We seen Morgan; he's more of a pocket guy, trying to make plays from the pocket. Zai McDonald can make plays from the pocket, but he's not afraid to go out there and run that football, and be able to get yards for his team. Both guys laid it all on the line. Both guys went out there, did what they needed to do in order to collectively, as a unit, get the victory for Jackson State. Now, you look at South Carolina State, and the narrative is a little bit different. The last time Jackson State played South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl, you had a more physical South Carolina State team that was predicated by their defense. That was their calling card, and that's kind of like what the MEAC is all about. Anyway, they're known for their physicality and their defense, but South Carolina State, they come through with a different type of energy these days. They're more of the style and finesse team. And then you flip the page of Jackson State. Jackson State is more of that physical style of offense when it comes to running the football with Terrell and also Herb Mulligan. They like to run the football. I mean, they got some dogs out there at the wide receiver position. I talked to Jonas Fatilian earlier. I'll have that out for you as well. And I can tell you, man, like that's an intense cat right there, man. Like he's very sure of himself. He's very sure of his wide receiver group, man. Them guys being down, throughout the season, not having, all hands on deck, but they still were able to kind of weather the storm. A physical defense versus a style and finesse offense, man. Something has got to give, but I like both teams. I think both teams have a really strong chance. I know some of y'all know what I'm about, but I got to kind of keep it impartial here, right? I gotta keep, I gotta keep it partial. Yeah, I gotta keep it impartial, man. But I'm just excited to be here, man. I mean, it's a great moment. I mean, the opportunity to be able to cover a actual bowl game, and the one that I cover it just so happened to be my alma mater. I mean, it's absolutely a dream come true, man. It's a dream come true to be here. And thank you all for being here, man. Feel free to put your comments down in the chat. Y'all know how we do it, man. Y'all know how we do it. Y'all know we, want to, try to, hear what you all have to say. So it's extremely exciting, man. How you doing? All right. Yeah, that's the yeah, so man, they got some pretty cool individuals in here, man. Pretty cool individuals, man. I mean, this is great, man. I see some old faces, some people I went to the college with up in here have been a part of the Jackson State media's team, so that's pretty dope right there. Let's see. It says who that nation? We are the algorithm. Yeah, man. Look, I can tell you this, man. They got a lot of like talented guys out here, and that's one of the main reasons, why I wanted to be here, man. Because covering the NFL, covering college football, man. I cover Coastal Carolina, of course, but man, they got so many talented HBCU players that fly under the radar, and me, I'm here to basically shed light on those guys, like. Who is the guy that can really step up? And I see some talented guys, man. I mean, I talked to offensive lineman Evan Henry, who is ranked number 30 in the entire nation, man, when it comes to Pro Football Focus, man. We know that, you guys, Saints, they need offensive linemen, right? So, I mean, they got some talented guys. And Herb Mulligan, man, the running back for Jackson State University, I mean, he averaging close to 6 yards per carry. And he broke Walter Payton's record. Like when you're talking about breaking Walter Payton's record, that's like rare air right there. Like it's rare that you actually get an opportunity to be mentioned with Walter Payton. But I mean, he's a physical runner. I mean, kind of reminds me of a mix between Isaiah Pacheco and Alvin Kamara. Like when it comes to like his balance, like there are times where he'll take a hit and he'll spin off a guy and then run for like 10 or 15 more yards. Like he has like really good balance. He runs with really good pad level. And, I'm looking forward to seeing him play on tomorrow. He was a little bit nicked up earlier in the season. He missed 3 games to start the season, but I mean, you had some other really talented guys to step up. Travis Terrell, the young freshman who was freshman of the year, he stepped up and he made some plays in the absence of Herb Mulligan, as well as some of these wide receivers who stepped up in the absence of some of the top wide receivers on their team. So the offensive line group, they have been steady. But South Carolina State, I mean, they're not going to come into this game, and just hand Jackson State a national championship. Jackson State is going to have to take that national championship away from them. And we know historically, the SWAC has not done well in these Celebration Bowl games. I mean, even though, FAMU, they won last season, which was great. A lot of people don't really consider, FAMU like as one of those SWAC teams, not just yet. They still got the MEAC residue on them. So, Jackson State is one of those, those old school SWAC teams, right? I mean, Jackson State has been around for a long time, been flirting with prosperity for a long time. Trust me and believe me, I know, there's been some highs and there's been some lows with Jackson State University. I mean, but, flipping the script to South Carolina State, I mean, they have a really talented quarterback, Eric Phoenix, 2,469 yards this season, 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, has a 65.3% completion percentage. He's a guy that can make plays from the pocket, but he has been nicked up. There was a question mark about his status on tomorrow, but I expect for him to play. I mean, in this type of moment, I mean, and in a game of this magnitude, if you are up and you can possibly play, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure that you actually get the job done and try to win that football game. I mean, they have some talented guys, and like I mentioned, like when you look at South Carolina State teams of the past, it was more about running the football, playing good defense. Not so much about the quarterback plays per se, but I mean, you have some really shifty wide receivers on this team, Caden High, Justin Smith Brown, guys like that. I mean, and they share the rock. Like it's no one guy that's just getting the vast majority of the receptions. It's spread out, and when you have that type of offense going, it's kind of hard for a defense to kind of zero in on who to go after. Like, who are you going to go after? Who are you going to, who is the guy that you're going to focus on? And not to mention Eric Phoenix. I mean, he gets the ball out of his hand pretty quickly, man. I mean, we're talking 2 and 3 step drops here. So it's going to be hard for the defensive line of Jackson State to possibly get home. So in situations like that, it's best for you to, if you're on a defensive line, to put those hands up, man. Put the hands up in the air. That's when a lot of those batted passes come from, because if you're thinking about those 2 and 3 step drops, it's getting out getting the ball out of your hands quickly if you're a quarterback. But the defense, if you're putting your hands in the air, there's a possibility that you can get those pass deflections. So I think that you can kind of, do that. And also, it's going to be intriguing to see the secondary of Jackson State go up against some of these talented, shifty, speedy wide receivers of South Carolina State. I mean, it's going to be a fun game to watch, no doubt about it. Buck says, let's hit the like button, peeps. Yeah, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Says, I like the hat, but I'm confused. Make me feel like you're an Atlanta Falcons or Alabama fan. Man, you out of your mind. This is an Atlanta Braves hat. And the only way I got it, what color is it? What color is it? What color is it? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, buddy. Okay. All right. Don't get it twisted. We in the A, but y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what it is. I walked that stage the day I started getting hives run. Felt so dirty run. But I ain't gonna lie, but it was cool, like, to actually walk on the NFL field like that, man. Even if it is the that team, that Atlanta Falcons, we ain't gonna worry about that. It's just a great opportunity to be here, Jack. All jokes aside, man. I mean, but this is just a testament to the channel that we built, especially on the State of the Saints podcast. And people start to appreciate the work that we've done and getting opportunities to be able to come out here and have a good time and be able to cover other sports in the world of college football, especially HBCUs, because that kind of sheds a light on on HBCUs, man, which it should be. I mean, because there's a lot of talented guys out here. They always seem to fly under the radar. So Terrell said, TJ, you have to take 5 showers to get that sting off. Hey, I do find it funny though. I was walking past the stadium, and I see something on the side that said, what did it say, championship circle or something like that. I'm like, championship where? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I thought that was funny, man. I thought that was funny, but I ain't gonna lie, man. They got a nice stadium, man. I mean, it's pretty cool, man. They got some, nice restaurants in there and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm here for business, man. I'm here for business. Y'all already know what it is. So what's happening, TJ? Try not to be biased. Oh no, I can't be. I'm being impartial here. Of course, as a Jackson State alum, I'm extremely excited and happy to see my alma mater take part in this game. But I'm the South Carolina State is a talented football team and have been for a very long time. We had Coach Pua. He's walking around here somewhere. Legendary South Carolina State coach. He is a guy who, I mean, he's brought a lot of legitimacy to South Carolina State, man. He is a bona fide, certified legend, So, I mean, that's not a team that you want to, mess with. I mean, he stepped down a couple of years ago, so you got a new head coach there right now. But at the end of the day, these guys are not to be, messed with. I mean, if Jackson State, look at their record, or Jackson State come out here and talk about the defensive performances that they had, they can find themselves, man, on the receiving end of an L. And nobody wants to feel that way. You know, I was talking to Evan Henry, offensive lineman for Jackson State, and he was describing, what it feels like to be in this moment, and the possibility of being a national champion if that was to happen. And when I tell you, man, when he was talking, the lights went out. Y'all see, I'll put that up. It'll be on there soon. It'll be up soon. But he was so dialed in, man. The lights went out. He's still talking. Like, it didn't phase him or nothing like that. He was so dialed in, and you can actually see the emotion of him, like, just coming and pouring out. Like, it got me fired up, man. It's like, it's like, man, you want to see these guys win. And you have some players, they're extremely sure about themselves, and one thing I do like about the players that I saw, you can tell, like, it's not a lot of me guys out here, which to me, in the state of college football and what is in right now, you see a lot of these me guys, right? Because you got the NIL and guys want their touches, and, they want all the attention on themselves. But I don't get that from any of these guys. Like, nobody's sitting up here bragging on themselves, talking about what they're going to do and how great they are. Anytime you ask them about themselves, like, they always, like, just, defer to the team. And I think that's a testament to what TC Taylor has built here at Jackson State University, because, I mean, you had to change a culture. I mean, anytime you have a new coach, a young coach, like, you have to change that culture, and a team starts to take on the identity of the head coach. And if you ever heard TC Taylor talk, or the way that he operates or he carries himself, like, this team basically resembles him. And they stay focused like that, it's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough for any team to come and beat Jackson State if they stay like that. I mean, Jackson State has continued to build. They got one of the best recruiting classes, among FCS. So I don't see this train stopping. I mean, of course, you probably, got to think about, if you got some talented players on your team, there's a possibility that you can be taken away, right? They can be taken away from, to bigger, more prominent universities or whatever, I mean, that just comes with the territory. I mean, when somebody's backing up a Brinks truck and saying, man, we want you to be here, we're going to give you some money, it's kind of hard for you to turn that down, especially, guys have to think about, man, I do want to go to the NFL, but there's a possibility that I don't. And if I don't get that opportunity, maybe I can get a little bit of chickens in the process. But, so that's the way, you have to approach it. But I don't see any, from what I've seen. And I mean, I haven't spoke with the South Carolina State players or coaches yet, because they're going to come after they have their practice. So I haven't spoke to any of them, but most of the information and what I'm saying right now is not so much about, me talking about Jackson State. It's just the fact that I haven't spoke to South Carolina State crew yet. So once I talk to them, I can get kind of an indication of what they are and who they are as a staff, organization, and crew. But as of right now, it's, can't really say anything about it. Red Swarm, thank you very much for 499. Says, TJ, I have a nephew majoring in sports information system. I turned him on to your podcast. Proud of your work you're doing, brother. Well, I appreciate that, Red Swarm. I'm in your area right now, man. But look, I appreciate that, and I appreciate each and every one of you, man, rolling with all these platforms right now. State of the Swag, Gumbo Pie Sports, Bleacher Report. Thank y'all, man. We're going live across several platforms right now, so thank you all. And for those that are watching, like, on YouTube or on X, like, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. I just remember, man, I got to make sure I'm sharing this. I got to make sure I'm sharing this on my Facebook page. I didn't even do that. That's the thing that bothers me about Facebook. It's like when you go live, you have to go into it and switch it from friends to the public or whatever, So, I mean, come on, man. Waste of time. Let's see, David, thank you very much for the $5. It says, enjoy the game and trip, TJ. Maybe one day my Southern Jaguars will beat your Jackson State Tigers again. Well, look, I don't know, man. I don't know, big dog. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe one day, but like I'm being really serious, man. What I've seen from Jackson State and the way that what this team was, and what they're trying to do, um, it's gonna be hard to try to stop this, man. Because the culture, like this culture of Jackson State and what they're building is gonna keep guys around, and it's gonna keep guys motivated. Only way I can see this train derailing and them not being like a part of the upper echelon of you know HBCU football is if a team like what they see from TC Taylor and he do too much winning, and they back up the brain truck and try to take them away from Jackson State. That's the only way I see it. I mean, we see Coach Odom, when he was winning all those games at Southern, how Virginia State ended up taking them. Y'all remember that? So I mean, that kind of comes with the territory, man. I talked about players with the NIL. It happens the same way with these coaches, man. And these coaches, they want to win. They want to win. But if you win enough, teams gonna start looking at you. They're gonna start looking at you, man. That just kind of comes with the territory there. Trying to turn this camera around. I don't know if I can get an interview with Coach Pugh's, legendary South Carolina State coach. If he comes over here, man, I'm gonna try to see if I can actually get him to speak to us for a little while and talk a little bit about South Carolina State and what he feels about the team, man. I mean, I know that gotta feel good though. The fact that you leave and you leave your team in really good hands. Uh, you know, Candace Berry. He basically just continue to build on it. I mean, you got two coaches right now that basically are building on what the other coach left behind. Now, in controversial fashion, I mean, Coach Prime Deion Sanders left Jackson State University, but basically recommending TC Taylor to replace him. I mean, that was a plus. And I think that one thing about Coach Taylor is when you come from a place, right, you have like this sense of pride, like you want to make sure that you do right by that particular place, right? And the fact that TC Taylor is a Jackson State alum, that he wants to make sure that he keeps everything on the up and up. He want to make sure that he keeps everything, copacetic, as they say. But he has been. They had a little bit of a little bit of a setback last season, but I think that had a lot to do with the fact that you had it's kind of like when you have like layovers, right? You have like those layovers, and you have like those those old coaches that probably was part of the old regime, or the old players that or it's something different, so it takes them a while to buy in, or some of them never buy in. But these guys, they turn around these programs pretty fast, man. It's amazing the way that they turn around these programs, how quick they did. But I think it helps like with the whole NIL thing. Like you can be trash as a college football team one year, and then all of a sudden your booster say enough is enough, man. Let's go ahead and try to put together some bread and try to get some talent up in here, and you can just turn it around. I mean, we're looking at the college football playoff right now. Look at all the teams that are part of that playoff. That you weren't thinking a million years of being in. Like as talented as SMU has been in the past or whatever like that. I think we all seen that ESPN special Pony Assess, when they was doing NIL before NIL was cool, But now, I don't feel like that's gonna change either, man. Because y'all remember, like, I don't know if y'all remember SMU, man, when Eric Dickerson and Craig James and all them boys was there, and SMU was winning all them games. Man, so the NIL can kind of help some of these universities that probably don't have like the cachet or the prestige as others, but they got that bankroll. So there we go. Doing great. How about you? The now powder blue hoodie. What about the powder blue hoodie? What we talking about? Oh, we got somebody from Southern up here. You got the hoodie on. Yeah, I mean, we got some representatives from other SWAC schools, Alabama A&M, Southern University, So I mean, you got different people that are here on Radio Row that I get to you in a second, Cartel. They're here on Radio Row. They do different podcasts. It's not just strictly just Jackson State or South Carolina State. I mean, we're talking about the entire HBCU world, which I commend them for. I mean, for you to have like that type of knowledge, man, to be able to understand and be able to grasp like all of that information when it comes to HBCU. It's not like how you can just focus in on ACC, focus in on SEC. Okay, man, you only got a certain amount of schools, but we're talking about SWAC, MEAC, other conferences. I mean, and you're basically covering that. So I commend them for that. I commend them. And congratulations on the opportunity, TJ. It's been amazing watching your growth from day one. Well, Cartel, thank you, man. I appreciate it. But I mean, none of this happens without fine folks like yourself who believed, in yours truly. From the first time, I decided to record a video. I didn't know where this was going to go, and I think with the help of you all, I gained enough confidence and ability within myself to try to go a little bit further. Because I mean, honestly, anybody that's been following this journey since 2018, I mean, I was just upset about a Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, when Ryan Fitzpatrick threw for 400 yards, and the rest is history, man. And I've always loved sports. I love the Saints, of course. I mean, I think a lot of people know that if you follow me on the State of the Saints and the passion that I come with. But I try to bring that same level of passion to Coastal Carolina football when I cover them, HBCU football, etc. So thank y'all, man. That's you listening to TJ's Son Father podcast. Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Yeah, that's my boy right there. Yeah, that's my son. That's my son, man. That's that's gonna be like my, like Rick Ross has like Maybach music, or Lil Wayne got the little flick of the lighter. That's kind of like has become my production pen, so to speak. My son, because it happens so it happens so organically, man. Um, I just finished doing one of my podcasts. He was at the radio station with me, and he comes like after I, of course, I sign off all the time. All I gotta say is who that, and he comes in right behind that and says, "Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast." So I end up like asking him to do it again, and of course, like he was, we recorded it, and the rest is history, man. But to have something, and that's kind of, it's my motivation to be able to do some of the things that I'm doing, and being able to try to push myself even further. That's my motivation. So if that's the first thing I hear before we hit the intro of any podcast, man, I mean, it kind of puts me in this zone, like when things may not be going the right way, or certain things are not working in your favor. That's kind of like my motivation is to who I'm doing that for. So yeah, Belichick is going to have that powder blue hoodie in Chapel Hill. Oh yeah. Bill Belichick, man, going to Chapel Hill. I mean, that's a little bit of a shock. I don't know if he just felt a little bit disrespected because maybe he won all those championships. And look, I can completely understand how that can make you feel. The fact that you won 6 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots, and fair or unfair, right? A lot of people felt like it was Tom Brady, and I think it was the fact that Tom Brady won a championship with the Bucs. It kind of like made people say like, maybe Bill lost his fastball, and not to mention those 2 years where New England wasn't good. So a lot of people may have felt like he lost his fastball, but kind of taking a step back, and that's a new challenge for him. Like, you've done all this winning in the National Football League, right? Done all this winning, and now you get the opportunity to go to Chapel Hill to try to see if you can actually dip your toe in the college football world and see if you can find levels of success the way that you did. Now, it's going to be hard because, I mean, we know North Carolina. I mean, it's a basketball school, right? I mean, they're not known for like great football players. I mean, they had a few like, Lawrence Taylor and Julius Peppers and, Akeem Hicks and all, Akeem Nicks, I excuse the tape. But Is it Akeem Nicks or Yeah, Hicks, because Akeem Nicks. Okay, y'all get. He played for the Saints. But anyway, like they had some talented guys like on the team. But I think Giovanni Bernard went there as well. But they're known for their basketball team, and so it's going to be tough, you know. But I think if you have the boosters involved and they're willing to chunk up that bread, you can get anybody you want. Get anybody you want. You don't have to worry about it. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get that coin. No doubt about that. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these stats, man. I mean, Jacobian Morgan for Jackson State, 2,003 yards. He had 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions this season. You had Cameron McCoy, who served as the backup, but like I mentioned, Zy McDonald came into the game in a SWAC championship, and he took over in the second half. And I don't know if people know this, but Jackson State is a really good second half football team. Like, I was looking at these stats. They only allowed, as a defense, the defense has only allowed 13 points in the second half. 13 points. That is insane. For you, like the second half, like if the Saints can do what Jackson State do in the second half, the Saints would be a double-digit win team right now, right? You know, Coastal Carolina, like if Coastal Carolina can do this, you know, they will probably be at another bowl somewhere, right? Right now they playing in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. They playing at home. They got a bowl game in their home stadium, which they ain't got far to go. But all I'm saying is the second half adjustments that Jackson State makes is incredible. You know, like how those guys get dialed in. And you know, I asked you know, a few of the defensive players, you know, what is about that defense? Like when you guys going, you know, to the locker room, and then the second half you just come out with your hair on fire. And you know, it was mostly about looking guys in the eyes and seeing if they want it like I want it, right? You know, so you know, it's about the energy. It's about the energy that they bring. It's about the energy that comes with it. So um man, I mean, that's incredible, man. The fact that you only have 13, you only allow 13 points. 13. Unfreaking believable right there. Unfreaking believable. But read a few more of your comments here. Says shouts out to the Pac-Man. Says that's a dope story. Yeah. Whoa now. We got Calvin Jackson says, hey TJ, is that true about Sean Payton? I don't know, man. I don't know if I don't know. I ain't heard no news since I got here. I touched down here like around 9 a.m. I left South Carolina probably like around 4 in the morning. So I've been like kind of locked in and kind of focusing on, you know, doing this, like what the storylines are, you know, understanding these teams. That's all I've been riding with. I'm dialed in right now when it comes to Celebration Bowl. I'm Celebration Bowl dialed in. You know what I'm saying? I'm dialed in. So anything else gonna have to take a back seat until after this game is over. So I have an answer for you the next time we talk, man. But not today. You know, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm scrolling up, trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. Red Swan says, good TJ, proud to see a brother making your mark in the sports media industry. Mad respect for good brother. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Huh? Yes, ma'am. Huh? It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Just asked if we can talk to the athletic director of FAMU. So, excuse me. What was his name? The AD or she? What's it? Angela Sims. Subs. Angela. Okay, Angela. Okay, I got you. Thank you. All right, so Angela Suggs is who we're going to be speaking with in just a second. The athletic director of FAMU. So go ahead and take a look. Like I said, man, we got several representatives from SWAC schools out here. So gonna make sure that we're gonna make sure we talk to everybody. Because right now, what this is, and I apologize, man. It's kind of like impromptu. Like it's impromptu right now because everybody's kind of going around here, talking to different individuals. So it's not very clear. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, yes, sir. I'm okay though. How you doing?
Man, good to finally meet you.
Good to meet you.
I didn't know you were gonna be here.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But how you been?
Good, man. I'll talk to you a little bit later if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. All right.
Do a good job.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mosley. All right. Hey, man, Kyle Mosley up in this thing, man. Shouts out to Mr. Mosley, man. Shout out to Mr. Mosley, man. Mr. Mosley, anybody follow HBCU football, man. Mr. Mosley, Kyle Mosley in the building, man. Wow. That's humbling, man. Like people just, walking up to your door, who the heck he is. Like, that's crazy. But like I said, we're going to talk to Miss Angela Suggs, FAMU athletic director, in just a second. Like I said, people are like going around, talking, about their respective universities, what's on the table or whatever like that. So says, look like you're in Atlanta, TJ. I am in Atlanta. I'm here, Jerry, for the Celebration Bowl. I'm here at Radio Row here, covering the Celebration Bowl here. So, yep, we in this thing, Jerry. We done made it, man. I said we talking to everybody now, man. We talking to everybody. So, like I said, once we'll do that, we'll get Miss Angela Suggs on here. But feel free, man, to put your comments in there. What you think about SWAC football? What are you all like? Looking for? Is anybody watching the SWAC Celebration Bowl versus the MEAC, South Carolina State, Jackson State? Who's watching that? What do y'all think about this though? Let me ask y'all this: like, do you think it's fair? Do you think it's fair that okay, South Carolina State, they haven't played a game in 3 weeks? They haven't played a game in 3 weeks. And Jackson State, they just finished up a SWAC championship game last week. So they only had like less than a week to prepare. Now, to be fair, the reason why they're playing so early is because, of course, we have the college football playoff that kicks off next week. So they had to push up the Celebration Bowl. I don't know, man. I'm thinking maybe they need to restructure that. Like maybe instead of making it so early, maybe putting it like not a New Year's Day, but maybe like the 26th or 27th or something like that, when you actually come in. But I can understand, how this kind of comes into like the holidays and stuff like that. So I can completely understand how that can be an issue. But three weeks of rest versus, a team that's just been playing, and played less than a week ago. Totally unfair. Let's see. I went to Sam's Club Thursday with my dad. They had Grambling State gear. I figured they burn and bring in JSU gear. They're the SWAC champions. Well, here's the thing, man. Grambling still beat Jackson State. As a matter of fact, they're the only team in the SWAC that beat Jackson State. Jackson State ran the table. The only team that they lost to, if I'm not mistaken, was UL. So even in that game, I mean, Jackson State was competitive. It wasn't like they got beat to sleep. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't like they just got like destroyed. So I don't know. I don't know the deal. I don't. But hey, they ain't here. I'll put it like that. They ain't here. They ain't here. That's all I know, that they aren't here. All right. I said, as people roll up, I guess the fact that I'm actually live streaming, I guess they don't want to pass over. I'm like, I can talk to anybody. Look, man, we ain't new to this. We true to this. We can improv like it ain't nothing. Let's see if I can actually pull up. I did do a little small clip here, and this is from Jackson State linebacker. Reed Pulliam. I'm going to go ahead and download that. I spoke with him earlier. He's the linebacker one of the leading tacklers of Jackson State's defense. And he talked about, setting the tone. I have that loaded up for you guys in just a minute, And for those that just tuning in, this is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. I'm here live at the Celebration Bowl. I'm here on Radio Row here in Atlanta, getting ready to cover Jackson State taking on the South Carolina State Bulldogs. These two teams met back in 2021, and South Carolina State won. And, of course, we know that since the Celebration Bowl has started and been in inception, MEAC has dominated. Jackson State, has been here quite a few times, and they have yet to get that victory. FAMU won last year, but a lot of people feel like FAMU hasn't done enough in the SWAC to be recognized as a SWAC team just yet. You get what I'm saying? So we got to see. Hi, Timothy. What's going on? That's my mom in here. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. Says we here in this thing. Yeah. Hey, Jerry, I actually stepped foot in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, man. I went over there because that's where the game is going to be tomorrow. Where the Atlanta Falcons play or try to play. But no, they have a really nice stadium, man. I give them credit for that. I mean, it was a nice stadium, and anytime you get the opportunity to walk on an NFL field, man, it's pretty cool. You got to kind of soak it in. It's not every day that you get the opportunity to look at the New Orleans Saints' second home. So I felt like I was back at the Superdome. I mean, how much winning the Saints do up in there? Says, hey, TJ, is that? I think I already read that. I don't know, man. What is going on with Sean Payton? What is going on here? All right, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the coaches, man. TC Taylor, like I mentioned, he's a Jackson State alum. He's been with the team in some capacity since 2019. And, he's worked his way up, man. I mean, he has been a position coach, quarterback coach, tight end, wide receivers. He has really, put some skins on the wall for him to be in this moment. And, of course, we know all succession plans don't work, especially when a coach actually tries to recommend, because we've seen this. If you are a Saints fan, you already know. But, in this case, it actually did work. And I think that it has a lot to do with the love that TC Taylor has for Jackson State University. I mean, the fact that he is an alumni, and he's coming from a place where he wants to see his alma mater be successful. And humble guy, extremely humble, like not one of them coaches that just braggadocious, got a quiet demeanor about himself, but very, very confident in his abilities. And, these guys believe in him. And like I said, I spoke to Reed Pulliam, the linebacker for Jackson State, and talked a little bit about the defense and the physicality that they come with. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I'm looking at your stats right now, man. 2.5 sacks, 54 tackles, man. Y'all all over the field. And, just talk to us a little bit about the defense, man. I mean, you guys been setting the tone all season long, man. It's kind of a different vibe, man. Jackson State known for style and finesse in the past, but now it seems like it's more smash mouth, man. So talk to us a little bit about the defense and what type of energy do you like to come with every single game?
I mean, complete dominance at all times. Our coach said keep it simple. When you hit somebody in the mouth, they have to respond. And, that's what we try to do every day. I mean, run game, we don't expect no more than no yards. I mean, anything under 50 for a whole game, that's what we want. Back end, we're gonna lock down. No fly zone. We just expect complete dominance on all phases of the game.
So as you can see, man, I mean, the guys, man, they really, man, that defense, and that defense is incredible, man. The way that they just fly around the field, the way that they tackle, the way that they rotate, like, man. Like they have like different personnel, not just on the offensive side of football, but the defensive side of football too. And when you have that type of rotation, man, you can't worry about, oh man, we got to chip this guy. Like these guys are constantly running into the game, so it kind of confuses the offensive line of the opposing team. So they got a good rotation going, man. And like I said, these guys feed off one another, man. They play for one another, man. They want to win not only for the city of Jackson, but for each other. And this is something that's extremely major. It's a major moment, for Mississippi sports, man. HBCU sports. Jackson State could possibly become a national champion if they get this victory on Saturday versus South Carolina State, man, something that the fan base has been clamoring for. I mean, Jackson State, we know that they're extremely passionate about their football team. They travel well every time, for the most part, for the exception of a few HBCUs I can think of. Every time Jackson State travels, it sounds like you at the vet. Like it's crazy. It's like you're at the vet every single time. And you know, when you have that type of support, even in like adverse times, you know that they're gonna lose their freaking mind. If Jackson State can win this football game, the city of Jackson is going to lose their freaking minds. I can tell you that right now. Cartel said, "Let's go, TJ." I mean, we got a few more interviews that I'm gonna have up later on today. I'll have it up for you all so you can check it out. I'm gonna go and edit that, and also it will be available on Bleacher. So make sure that you be on the lookout for that as well. But yeah, man, I mean, if they can win this national championship, ooh boy, wow, it's gonna be something serious. But we'll be back a little bit later. Like I said, I'll have some stuff that's ready for you guys. So be on the lookout for it. Take care. Shouts out to all the sports fans out there, HBCU Sports. Once again, we're live here in Atlanta for the 2024 Celebration Bowl here on Radio Row. My name is Timothy J. Jones. You can follow me on X at TJAY-Jones8 as well as Blue Sky under the same username, TJAY-Jones8. Till next time, I'll see you down.